Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and yet another Taskmaster Tuesday. And it is, again, one of my creations because, I mean, I think all the Admirals enjoyed the Yamato Challenge, well, semi-Yamato Challenge that we did last week. And why not try something similar, but a bit different? And, of course, I immediately turned to inspiration to one of my favourite films and conflicts, battles, as it were, of the Second World War, the Battle of the River Plate. So, we have this as our enemy, the Seydlitz, or at least that's what I've called it. It's not quite a Deutschland, it's not quite a Scharnhorst, it's not quite the USS Salem, which was the ship that portrayed Graf Spee in the film. But it is, and it definitely has a UAD twist on it, with pretty nice armour. This is going to be a tough ship to deal with. She has 9 11-inch guns, and some 4-inch guns, and a couple of torpedo launchers, which, single shot each. But, yeah, she's pretty fast at 33 knots, and she has a pretty thick belt as well, with a pretty nasty 11-inch main belt, and a 5.5-inch extended, which, is not crazy, but it is pretty good for a heavy cruiser. Well, what do we get to take against it? Well, we have a heavy cruiser and 2 lights, but there are restrictions on them. First of all, the heavy cruisers cannot be... none of the cruisers can be over 10,000 tons. They're limited to 8 torpedo tubes total that have to be on reduced ammo and 21-inch, because I didn't want the challenge to become torpedo-focused. The heavy cruiser is limited to 8-inch guns, and the light cruisers are limited to 6-inch guns. So, they're treaty cruisers, effectively. Now, I could have played as the British, of course, and gone for the historical opponents. But I think I might actually go for Japan, because they get access to more cruisers, particularly light cruisers, hulls. So this is my plan. So, UAD, what have you done? No, don't crash. I'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Yeah, I was just having a think. So we have quite a few options, but with that 10,000 ton limit, I'm really looking at 2: the heavy scout cruiser and the modern heavy cruiser 3. Now, I find the modern heavy cruiser 3 to be quite a restrictive hull, so I'm going to go for the heavy scout, and I'm probably going to go for the regular scout cruiser as my light cruisers as well. So we're going to have to turn the displacement rate down. I know I am technically overweight, but as long as I don't go over the 10,000 tons, that's fine. So, I actually want to start with guns. So, we are allowed a maximum of an 8-inch gun. Here it is. Now, I'm just curious, if we go with kind of setup I would normally go with. So, cap ballistic, base fused, tube powder, super heavy, TNT 4 shells. What can you do? Because with that 11-inch belt, we need to be able to go through 25 inches, roughly, of armour if we want to go through the main belt. So we could do that at very close range, 2,500 meters. Okay, so I think that is viable. What I'm curious about as well is the HE pen. Yeah, the HE pen is pretty rubbish. So we'll be getting partials with base use. I'm just curious, if we went for capped ballistic, what would happen? And again, the number here I'm looking for is around about 10. So it's not good enough. It just is not good enough. So I might go for incendiary shells. So, you know, very little chance of them doing it. Oh, mind you. That might be too much because they will just go pop on the outside. But I think we'll try it. We'll go for incendiary HE shells. So if we can't go through the armor, we'll just throw incendiary shells. That's the plan. And then we will carry our torpedo complement so that we have a chance of finishing them off if we could manage to cause some damage. Looking at the towers, I'm just going to go for the cheap one. That's quite nice. The mini tower 4. Yes, please. Oh, wow, you can really make this a compact superstructure. Look at that. Okay, I'd rather put the funnel in there, though. Right, there's no budget limit, so we're going to go for a veteran crew. We can get a boost over the sadelets by going for cramped quarters and no range. Given that... probably geared to turbines, balanced boilers, or diesel. Pretty standard setup for me. Engines. Wow, you don't get as much smoke as I thought you would. Yeah, go for that one, because it leaves me just a little bit over on the smoke. I'm going to reduce speed a little bit. Actually, I know. Do you know what? I'm going to reduce draft actually, so that my limit is about 10,000 tons. I do like reduced draft ships. I'm going to go for 10,006 so that I can go right up to it, because that will let me go faster. A little bit faster. Well, not that much faster, but 33 knots. That's good enough. So sadelets is also 33 knots, so we can at least match her speed, which is good. Right, main guns, centerline 8s. Now then, I'm probably going to be going bow in. So I'm going to go for a couple 8-inch guns like that. Yeah, like that. And then we'll have one at the back for balance. And torpedo tubes. Now the torpedoes are maximum 21 inch and they must be reduced. You can choose the propulsion type. I'll probably go with fasts, to be honest. Gen 2 radar. Probably want to be able to spot their torpedoes if they shoot the damn things. Protection. Okay. A Krupp. Citadel. Probably won't need the anti-torpedo protection. Because they get one shot each side. I'm going to have to rely on my dodging skills, which are not very good. But I will go for the double bottom hull, because it does give me a bit of extra resistance. And that means I can armor up. Now, those 11-inch guns are very, very punchy. Very, very, very punchy. If I was to get close enough, I'd need like 16 inches of armor on the main belt, which is going to be pretty impossible. But I can have a well-armoured ship. What's the maximum on a cruiser? 15. Okay. You know what? Screw it. Can we do that? Yeah, there we go. Right, we're going to go for as thick a belt as I can manage. As much protection as we can possibly get. So heavy. Let's go for 1.5 on the superstructure. And we'll do the rest on the tower. 10,000 tons, exactly. Okay, now I just need to balance the ship, because we have a little bit of an weight offset. Can be really hard to balance ships with torpedoes. .4 there. Perfect. A very simplistic, if a little bit unusual in the armor. But yeah, the Tuppy is going to be our heavy cruiser, and hopefully we'll be able to tank some of the hits as best she can. Anyway, I do quite like the look of her. Right, and my light cruisers. Again, I'm going to go with the scout cruiser. It will give us a very consistent look. I'm going to go for 10,000 tons. Exactly. Again, don't need range, don't need that. Do need crew. Again, these are all very similar, so let's go for the cheap one. 9, yeah, and then there's a jump to these medium ones. Go for a medium. Well, that gives it a really odd look. But, alright. Suits me. Again, oil, balanced gear turbines. How much smoke does that give me? 48. Wow, you get more smoke with a light cruiser. Again, over on the smoke, just a tiny bit. And we're going to have to slow down a little bit. But 34 knots is fine. So these are just slightly faster than the Seedlets, which is good. I'm going to go for a double bottom hull again. Now, main guns here, I'm limited to 6-inch guns. Now, because I'm limited to 6-inch guns, I'm going to go for a more HE kind of build. They're going to look very, very similar. Can I use a shorter barbette than that? Okay. Yeah, they're going to look very much like they're going to look very similar. And yeah, we'll bring in our torpedo launchers. Again, our 21-inch reduced. Go for fast again. So, did I do reloading on the heavy cruiser? I didn't. Ah. Okay, so I'd like semi-auto, advanced hydraulics, and drop the extended deck armor a bit. To do that. Ugh, yikes. Superstructure armor. There. It's a good job I went back to check that. There's nothing else I missed in that gun section, is there? No. Okay, so this is going to be different. This is going to be a pure HE build. So we've got Dunite, Pickrick. Dunite might actually be a good choice because you could pen and damage and and HE shell damage. Mind you, TNT4 is just flat out good. We'll go for TNT4. You know what? Screw it. We're going to go too heavy, but we're going to go semi-AP and incendiary instead. And we'll see if that works. I've got 4, and that gives me absolutely loads of weight to play around with. Which probably means I can max the armor on this thing. It's not going to help a lot, but it might help a bit. Yeah, that is perhaps excessive. Go for 333. We'll go for maximum bulkheads. I could bring more guns. Yeah, let's do that. Let's shift this stuff forward. And let's go for more 6-inch guns. And the torpedo launchers there. Yes, that works. So have a halfway offset. It's pretty crazy, actually. I remember when I first had a look at this hull that I did quite like it. Overcorrected. Yeah. 4.7. There we go. Balanced ship. Still have some armor left. Some displacement left, I mean. Could bring some secondary guns, I suppose, but I don't think smattering of 3-inch guns is going to particularly scare anybody. I wish you could go beyond 6-inch armor. Go for 4. Just more armor. Why not? There we go. 996. The Naniwa. And another ship. Yes. Okay. Well, let's see how they do. I should mention, the winning Admiral is the one who has the most structure remaining across their 3 ships if they sink their heavy cruiser at the end of the battle, of course. So, score out of 300. Now, my tactics are going to be very similar to what the Royal Navy tried. But unfortunately, I can't split the fire of the enemy in the same way that Admiral Harwood could. It was his plan to cause the Graf Spee to split their fire between the different ships. They do look nice. They definitely have a very similar look to them. Can these minnows really deal with this thing? I mean, that is a pocket battleship and a half. Such a good looking game. Right. First few shots coming in. They obviously have a ranging advantage over us, so while the enemy is content to come towards us, we need to move at them pretty aggressively. They are firing at the heavy, which is good. Starting to open up ourselves. We even got the first hit in. Amazing. Ow! Ricochet. Good, good. See, now she's starting to move away. I think she realizes there is a little bit of a threat there. She is outnumbered. Didn't actually look at costs. 54 million for the heavy, 69 for the lights, which is quite funny. And I think Seedlitz was 200 and something. Like we're resorting to throwing the odd HE shell, but they're getting blocked, which is not good. They are setting fires though. Maybe with just a little bit of fire damage we'll be able to do something. But here, this is a problem if they just decide to run away. There's only so much I'm going to be able to do by setting the odd fire here and there. And catching up at 1 knot is not exactly the best. She's off. Now, interestingly, in the actual Battle of the River Plate, Captain Langsdorff, who was captain of the Graf Spee, didn't want to do this, sailing away, because he was convinced that the ships coming at him were destroyers, or at least the light cruisers were probably destroyers, he thought. And he thought he was being driven into the guns of a bigger ship that was maybe over here somewhere, like a slow battleship. And that's, you know, that he was being driven because of how aggressively the ships moved up. So the light cruisers are getting in on the action. See, now they are causing a little bit of damage. Not much. Really not much at all. But, yeah, those fires have got him down to 87%. I'd hope to avoid this sort of fight, but there we go. Ooh, bugger. Fired their torpedoes. Right, if they fire torpedoes at the Naniwa, they'll be going like this, so let's detach. There they are. Naniwa is actually alright. It's Takashiko. We'll need to be a bit more careful. That's good. That's one of their torpedo shots. Can live with that. Now, I did build the Seedless with diesels, so she it's going to be hard to knock out her engines. But only having the 3 11-inch guns to worry about, because they're the only ones that can shoot at me, is not too bad. Shakai nearly out of high explosive shells. Still though, it's very, very slowly wearing them down. Are they shooting at the... Anywhere? They are. Smoke up. Ow! Oh my word. Yeah, those 11-inch shells hurt. %, 68. Yeah, constant fires. Still, chase continues. They fired again. They did. Okay. Well, last time we did get plenty of warning about them. Yeah, there they are. Okay. No more torpedoes. That's good. There's a gap there, actually. Go with the gap. That is good. That means I can approach her very, very close without worrying too much about her torpedoes. Well, I don't have to worry about her torpedoes anymore, basically. But her guns are nasty enough. Ow. Noticing that she does seem to have steering gear damage, which is a nice thing to see. How fast is she going now? 26.8. Wow. Okay. Actually catching up to her then. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing that for? I thought you turned your torpedoes off. Oh, well, I have to remember that their starboard side ones are used up. It is causing them to turn, though. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But we are starting to rack up those hits, though. Nothing. I don't think I've had a single pen, have I? Oh no, what? 2. Wow. Huge numbers of partial pens, but it is bringing them down slowly, but it is working. Just constantly chipping away at them. Ow. Oh my word. Okay, Naniwa, you may fire your torpedoes because you are going to take a beating. You're losing your guns anyway. There you go. Torpedoes away. Torpedoes off. See if you can come around and fire the other side. Oh, God. Ow. I'm wanting to just fire the torpedoes just so she has a chance. But I'm noticing we might get a couple of hits here. Very nice. What did they do? Oh, they did a lot. Oh, I think I might have got her. Because those torpedoes are looking good. There's a fair amount of flooding. Not over yet, though. And anyway, you can retreat. We're looking at structure-wise 42, 87, and 83. I'm pretty sure you can check that at the end, but it's worth looking just now. Oh, gonna get you. Yeah, there we go. Gotcha. Nicely done. Right. Does it tell you? It doesn't tell you here. What is it? No, it doesn't. That is so weird. Well, it's a good job I had a quick look before I ended the battle. So, Naniwa was on 42% structure remaining. Takashiko had 83. And Shokai had 87, giving me a score of 212. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, the Naniwa pretty beaten up. But the other two ships, not too bad, especially the heavy cruiser. And yeah, to sink a ship like the Sailors, very nice. Very nice. Well, I'm pleased with that. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments what you would have done. Would you tried a slightly different tactic? And make sure that you go and have a look at all the other Admirals' attempts, still 17, and Spartan Elite 43. Hopefully we'll have the series strategy gamer back with us soon. But links to their videos down in the video description. And I'll see you next week for some more Taskmaster Tuesday. Bye for now.